Blake Lively's lawyers are intended to put out an amended lawsuit either Monday or Tuesday of next week. And I thought we would take the time to really talk about the new developments that have come out recently. And I will most likely also put up another video on the things out of everything we've read so far, what is still unanswered, okay? So we'll do that for the next video, but for this video, some of the new developments, which is an anonymous source reached out to a TikToker. The TikToker's name is Be Better, and the anonymous source kind of didn't really tell us much, but basically is trying to tell us that they are confirming what is actually going on right now. We're also going to be talking about the circulation of Blake Lively's interview with Forbes. That has been going around. I have some thoughts on that, and we'll be playing that clip. But let's first get into the statement from the anonymous source about Blake Lively. So let's read what this anonymous source says. So Be Better, who is a TikToker, basically just released the statement on his stories on his page, and this is what the anonymous this is what the statement from the anonymous source has said. Hello. I've been watching your videos, and after seeing the retaliation Lively is engaged in with you, I feel compelled to speak on the little I know. So Blake Lively and her team has been actively trying to prevent certain videos from continuing to go live on people's TikTok page. So in other words, Blake Lively has been reaching out to the corporation that is TikTok and having some videos removed from people's page, taken down, or they won't get monetized for certain videos, or there would be like a message in the beginning of the videos, which kind of makes the video go doesn't end up being pushed throughout TikTok. So there's that. So Blake Lively basically has been, I think, prevented one of Be Better's videos from going live in the US. Now, Be Better is a Canadian TikToker like myself, and so I saw a lot of his videos. So he made a video saying, hey, if you're in the US, you may not see this video, and that's what the anonymous source is saying. And the anonymous source continues. A family member of mine works in entertainment management, and everything I'm saying is what I've heard heard from them. They also know someone who has a business working relationship with Blake and Ryan, and is friendly with people around their circle. Excuse me, but only a small portion of this current info is from them. So they're basically saying they're not in Blake Lively's circle, but they know somebody who is in Blake and Lively's circle, and that somebody is somebody that's close to them. So this anonymous source is basically telling us what they found and what they've heard from this close friend that is supposedly in Blake Lively's and Ryan Reynolds' inner circle. The statement continues and says, here's everything I know. It's not a whole lot, but I hope it helps. First of all, Hollywood environment is closest to a high school, which is quite clear. And that's why I said, I don't know where I said it. I've been talking about this in all sorts and types of platforms, but I said in a video that people in Hollywood probably already know the secret. Probably already know the tea, the truth, at least a version of the truth, because Hollywood is a very small circle. Now, I was watching some TikTokers who came out and said that we may never know the truth, but I disagree with that. I think Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni will put a version of the truth out there just for the sake of their reputation, because they do want to continue to work, on this planet, in their life. So the reputations have been somewhat damaged on both sides, to be quite honest. And yes, more so Blake Lively's. So I do think we will see a version of the truth eventually. Some people are saying in 10 years, like not anytime soon, because this is good. This is a legal battle. But in some of the updates that has come up, a mediator has been attached to their actual case. So there's a list of mediators can be attached in civil cases. Again, Canadian law, American law, so very, very different. So they've picked a mediator, which means they could go into mediation. I will talk about this more in my second video, but what I will say is that they need to first, so Blake Lively's team still needs to first put out their amended complaint so they can start making motions to which part of the complaint they want to keep to then amalgamate into one complaint. After that one complaint, or at least their versions of their truth has been agreed upon, after making motions on each side saying, I want to make a motion to remove this out of the amended complaint, I want to make a motion to keep or to amend that statement, then they can then say, okay, let's mediate on whatever is left over, whatever they've all agreed upon as the amended, after things have been amended. Okay, it would make no sense to make a motion to amend the original complaint if the original complaint is going to be edited, right? So once that has been done, once everybody's put forth their many complaints of everything, and then second, people have made motions, what's end up going to happen is people will then be able to mediate on the final complaints. People then finally will be able to start discovery on the final complaint. There's no point in starting discovery on things that hasn't been agreed upon, right? Like, it's not really clear as to what parts of the complaints have been kept. And what I've been hearing from lawyers online who are looking into this like everybody else is that it's actually not normal to have a very detailed civil complaint. Usually complaints are quite sparse. And things gets added on as they go along. But in this case, when you have celebrities whose reputations have been damaged or has been hit, you want, and you're submitting these complaints to the public, you want the complaints to, I guess, include as much as possible to tell your side of the story. So once that is done, then they'll do discovery. Now, there has been statements made by Blake Lively's lawyers saying that they're in the midst of starting discovery, which a couple of lawyers that I follow on TikTok have said that that's a bit too early and too strange, but this is probably their version of PR telling them that they're going to be subpoenaing Verizon, AT&T, Jed Wallace, who is working with Melissa Nathan on the whole crisis management side of things and looking at the social media channels on behalf of Justin Baldoni. So Blake Lively's stories have said that they've already started discovery and they've started subpoenaing all these companies, all these people, which is kind of too early because nobody has made their final motions of what they're going to keep in the complaint, like I said, and what they're not going to keep. And Blake Lively's lawyers are still going to submit an amended complaint next week. So that's interesting. So we're going to see how that goes. But yeah, Hollywood is a small place, and a lot of people in Hollywood probably already know the truth. The anonymous statement continues. Everyone talks, and the situation is currently at the center of much discussion, given how much sway Lively and Reynolds have. People who privately supported or were friends of Reynolds and Lively are turning their backs as they see their ship imploding very soon. That makes a lot of sense. But people, I do feel a bit bad for Blake and Lively and Ryan, for those who are like genuine friends with them and see this and then they're like deuces. I would like to believe that if you're going through any type of crisis, either work, personal, romantic, whatever it is, you have those core group of people to back you and to support you, even if you don't disagree. Even if you don't agree, right? And I find it like really weird. And that's why I don't believe that Taylor Swift is not friends with Blake. I do think they're maybe having a break between each other, but I do think that they're still friends and still communicating quite a lot. But honestly, Taylor Swift is one of those people who is she loves to be liked by her community, her fan base, by the world. So she will be on the right side of history. That's like Taylor Swift. She doesn't care who you are. She's going to protect her image, okay? And if a lot of people are telling her Blake Lively is like horrible, she's going to be like, Bet. Cool. I'm gonna take a break publicly keep my distance publicly from Blake Lively and just keep on pushing. So I'm not surprised, but it's kind of sad. I could really hope they have close family and friends while they go through all of this. But then again, this is something that they've started and they've kind of brought it upon themselves. Now, again, I'm talking about everything else except for the S harassment. Like I've said, the S harassment technically is still on the air, and a lot of you know that I'm still on the fence when it comes to all of this. Really, I'm just trying to understand what's going on. Like, what are the puzzle pieces so we can put the puzzle pieces together. So in the second paragraph of this anonymous person, the person says, "This isn't the first time Ryan and Blake have attempted to take control of a project," which we've been hearing things, but the anonymous source actually details a specific example in regards to a 2020 film named The Rhythm Section. So this time, the director in The Rhythm Section, the director's name is called Reed Moreno, was siding with Blake. In many ways, Lively was the de facto director of the film, having equal say as Moreno on set. Moreno was okay with this, as he isn't incredibly well known and understood the star power behind Reynolds. So it looks like Reed and Lively were co-directors, I guess. I don't really understand what a de facto director is. But it says Reed Moreno was siding with Blake. So in many ways, Lively was the de facto director. So Lively was helping. Okay, so Reed was the main director, but got a lot of feedback from Lively and supported Lively in a lot of the decisions and positions she took when it came to the director's positions, I guess. Okay. Meanwhile, the producers Barbara and Michael, who are only somewhat well known but have barely produced any non-Bond films, focus more on British projects and are kinda isolated from Hollywood, offering little to no benefit for Moreno's career. That's kind of rude. Like, if you're on this project, you're providing benefit to me. You're on this project, you chose this project, I'm paying you. Your benefit to me is the service that you're providing to me. I don't really understand that. But knowing this, Moreno chose to hitch his career behind Lively and Reynolds instead of the producers. So I'm guessing there was like a dispute. Okay, well, the anonymous source is going to tell us. The film's production was even halted at some points, mainly due to the clashes between Lively and the producers. In the battle with the producers, Moreno sided with Lively and stalled the release, holding the film hostage until Broccoli and Wilson caved. Wow. So Lively did this same thing with this movie called The Rhythm Section. That is insane. The film also greatly underperformed at the box office. In turn, Lively took time off, most likely told to by Ryan, given the massive failure of the movie was to their brand, but I don't know this for sure. I'm just guessing. So you have Reed, who's the main director, but went to Lively, I guess, for feedback. And he wanted Blake Lively's feedback. So he protected her and supported all of her positions. But the producers that were on the film did not agree with Blake Lively's decisions. And Blake Lively decided to hold the film hostage until Broccoli and Wilson caved. Fascinating. I also don't know if Moreno was promised anything or if Ryan was retributive toward him given the film's failure, but Moreno hasn't had much work since and has nothing remotely major going on. Take that as you will. Oh my lord. And this is the reason why too people are like, why would Justin Baldoni do like a whole website thing and then put all of the lawsuit on a website is because he doesn't want to end up like this Morano guy where he's out without no projects to work on after this lawsuit. I was listening to the Flagrant podcast because they were talking about it, as you know, like I'm gathering information, gathering things, and I'm seeing that they were talking about how apparently there's a thing in Hollywood, there's a saying in Hollywood, it's either you sue or you work. And there's a lot of people, of course, who wants to work, but people who end up suing, when they win, they get a huge payout. And nobody wants to, just sue. People want to work. So if you are suing, you sue and then clear your name so you can be able to work after you sue, right? Apparently that's like a saying that goes around in Hollywood, like to gain a lot of money, you sue or you work. I don't know. That's what I heard on the Flagrant podcast. So the anonymous source continues in the statement and says Blake and Ryan are going to work this case hard for the foreseeable future. Everything is at stake for them now, and they do not want to mess up, as a full-blown loss in court will tank their careers. While they may not understand it 100%, the people around them know that the only way to truly shift public perception back in their favor is a victory in court. I highly disagree with that. If you take this to court, it will not look good for either party, even if you are right. I really do think it's better for both of them to settle. The court of public opinion has already made its verdict known. Facts. They're on Justin's side for the majority of them. Ryan and Blake want to control damage and PR, but what they really need to be doing is preparing for war. The only way they'll be vindicated is to win. If there are so that's where the anonymous source ends. And it's fascinating to me because like the anonymous source is saying that they are just they're focusing on having them survive in court and win in court. They want to control the PR, but I agree with them. Like the PR is not really, for them to override the PR, they themselves have to provide good PR. Like, tell us the good things that you're doing, or give us evidence to kind of debunk the PR from the other side, or debunk the evidence that we're getting from Justin Baldoni. So it makes no sense to me as to why the anonymous source is saying that, because the anonymous source is right. I do agree that they should be preparing for war and not be looking at the headlines, even though the headlines are quite damaging. But I do think they shouldn't go straight to court. Y'all should settle this. It's kind of crazy. So now I'm gonna go to the Forbes article. I went on YouTube. I honestly could not find this actual interview, which means that probably Blake Lively and her team of lawyers probably went to Forbes to have them take it down. But it's all over TikTok. It's all over TikTok, friends. So let me show you where this is. So, okay. So, I did find the interview, but I want the interview that's like a longer version of the actual interview. And I'm just trying to see if I can pull that here. Hold on. I think I saved it, but I also I made a comment about it on my TikTok page, but I thought I saved the actual video, but it looks like I didn't. Just give me a moment. So like, what do you guys think about the Blake Lively's Forbes interview? It was really bad. Really bad. I found the interview.
You're someone, if people are one of the critical drivers of how you choose projects, you're someone who has no shortage of opportunities that come to you. And I think all of us, in terms of those time constraints.
And this is in 2022. I had no idea. Nobody had no idea. Like, we don't know what anybody does in the past, right? But this has been circulating because of the antitrust drama.
How do you know when there's a force that is pulling you in a direction that you should follow versus one that may distract you?
I mean, I think I've just done it enough
You know, you learn to sort of, when I was younger in my life and career, I would sort of shape myself to the version of myself that I thought that they wanted. Or when I would show up on a set, I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say. But I also...
Well, that is your job as an actor. I just don't understand that. Yes, here are your lines. Perform your lines well. Be the actor we hired you to be.
I also knew that, like, that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to...
Okay, then go to different roles. Like, choose a different career.
Part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative.
Okay, then be the writer. Be the director. Write your own film. Write your own TV show. Be the director. Get hired.
Writing and the costume design and creating the character. And sometimes I had directors or producers or writers who would welcome that and invite that once they saw that I was able to offer that. And sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like...
Yeah, because you're an actor. Like, we hired you to perform a role. If you think that certain lines should be this and that, then you talk to the director and writer. But you shouldn't have the entitlement to be like, I need you to include this in this particular scene. Like, I don't
hire you to be an actor.
Yeah.
When I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig.
That is your job. Like, I'm so confused. Like, I need actors in the comments to actually answer this question. I just don't understand, or anybody in the industry, I just don't understand this concept of, like,
I wouldn't reveal that I
actors should be hired as actors.
In order to feel fulfilled. So I think that for them, sometimes
doesn't feel fulfilled.
Like a rug pull, because you're like, you're trying to assert yourself into something that we didn't hire you to do.
I don't know. Like, I just don't get it.
So it was a really strange position to be in.
And she's trying to say, like, she wants the projects to be more collaborative, but, like, it's not your project. We hire you to perform one part of the project, and if you can do it, let us know. But, like, we don't need you to become the director, the producer. We don't need you to be the costume designer. Like, we hired you to be the actor, and that's great if you want to provide feedback, but we don't have to take your feedback because it's not your project. Like, I don't know.
Because I felt like I don't want to just like be an actor. Like, I want to, I want to have more authorship. So I think that it's about, knowing.
She says authorship, but, like, does she? I think she wants to have that collaborative experience. I think she used the wrong word. Because the definition of authorship is the state or fact of being the writer of a book, article, or document, or the creator of the work. You're telling me that when you are hired to become an actor, that you should have the opportunity and the right to come in and act as if you are the creator of a work of art that you did not create. You should have the right to come in and amend a work of art that does not belong to you. You should, because you are an actor, you should have the right to come in and be the director. Because you are an actor, you should have the right to be the producer. Because you are the actor, you should be the one to be the costume designer. I don't understand
what I want and what I need, and representing that from the outset. And if people are into that and want to collaborate with me for all I feel like I need to offer and bring to a job, then those are the people I should collaborate with.
I don't create a project for somebody to then provide feedback on my project. It's my baby. Like, I'm saying all of this as taking the position of the directors and the writers, right? I did not create something for somebody to come and revamp it, re-edit it, and change it into something else that is not. I mean, I know a bit about the movie making process. I know sometimes it takes 2 to 5 years, even after the movie is created and produced and edited. Some movies are even shelved. For instance, Pharrell Williams, Pharrell, the singer, he had a biopic that is shelved that would never see the light of day. But usually when you're trying to find funding for a movie, when you're going to find investors or find a production company or a studio to help you distribute the movie, they provide feedback and they'd be like, I like your movie, but it has this, or sometimes you may want to tweak it for that. But to have an actor come in that you hired, that's in the contract, that you're just here to act, and then you want to have feedback, you need to have your feedback on everything. I don't get it. Like, what type of acting is that? Like, what acting? And then if I were to take the position of like the actor, okay, yes, if you feel like you need to provide your feedback on how you want to perform and portray the director's vision, right? You think that it may be performed better in this way, in that way, in this way, then yes, provide your feedback. It's great to be in a place that is collaborative, but the role of an actor is to portray the role that was created for you. Like, the whole reason why you're here, the whole reason why you signed a contract is because I've created this character. I'm not going to hire you for them to come and be like, this character should be this now. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And it just sounds so crazy. And in this, and I'll continue. I'll let this part of the interview ride.
I see that it's people who are, whether this is in business or acting or whatever it is, where it's people who I can see that feels like that's stepping on their territory, that's not going to ultimately be a fulfilling relationship for either one of us. So I think it's about being upfront about like knowing what you actually need versus just like trying to get the job. And then, once you're in it, sort of revealing the scope of.
For me, she's describing a job that she does not love, and for her to love, she needs to do this, which that means that you don't love acting. You don't like acting, and that's fine. But you can go onto a job or a position and be like, I should be entitled to this, because that makes me feel fulfilled. Well, that means that you don't love the job. And you're not the right fit for the job, because we're looking for X. We're not looking for Z and X,
Needs to be, fulfilled.
It's with your authentic self, right? And in terms of unapologetically, versus trying to hide it. It is what makes you great and brings out your best work.
But it's hard because you feel so replaceable, and people tell you all the time, how replaceable you are. So it's like, I have to do this thing to get the job. So it's tricky,
Zigzagging.
And sometimes you lose.
Is this the reason why she hasn't been in a lot of projects? Because she needs to have her hand in each and every part of the cookie jar? For me, and this is the question that everybody online is having, like, if this is what you need to be an actor, then you should have created your own movies and TV shows. Like, your husband has a production company. You should have created your own movies and TV shows this entire time then. To come on and be like, and again, in 2020 with that director, Blake Lively and the director ended up being co-directors, but the movie flopped, and that director apparently has no career. Let's actually look into that. Like, I haven't even Googled these people's names. I just took it from, again, these are all alleged. But let's see. The rhythm section. So we're talking about the rhythm section. Oh, shoot. Ugh. That is that looks a bit I don't know. Oh wow, some prominent actors are in this. Jude Law and Sterling Brown is in this. Raza Jaffrey is in this. Ellie Curtis. What the hell? So what is this movie about? So it's Stephanie Patrick veers down a path of self-destruction after a tragic plane crash kills her family. When Stephanie discovers it wasn't an accident, she turns to a former CIA operative who can help her find the culprits. But her quest to uncover the truth soon turns into a full-blown quest for revenge as Patrick decides to punish those responsible. Okay, so it's kind of like, so Netflix has some of these movies. Okay, so who's the director? Okay, Reed Morano. Oh, Reed is a woman. I thought it was a man. Oh, wow. What movies has she done since the rhythm section? Let's see. I'm not, ooh. Reed Morano hasn't done anything since the rhythm section. And yeah, that's kind of sad. What does she do now? Like, what is she up to? Let's look at her on Instagram. 167K. She was the director for episodes 2 and 3 in The Handmaid's Tale. And the director and I Think We're Alone, and the director and DP for Meadowland. Okay, so what has she been up to? Yeah, she hasn't done much since. Why do I think filmmaking shouldn't be done with one person utilizing AI prompts? Now, this is a post from Reed Morano's Instagram post. Her Instagram page. She made a post on December 29, 2024, which is last year. And she posed a question to her followers. Why do I think filmmaking shouldn't be done with one person utilizing AI prompts? And she says, well, filmmaking is a team sport. Team. I love people. I love working with people. I love the process. It's where every little thing that happens and that you can't control affects the story in ways you never could have predicted, oftentimes for the better. I love that every individual person on that team leaves their particular mark as only they can on screen forever. Generative AI is stealing. It is copyright infringement. I have my own voice. I don't need to regurgitate someone else's. Last, but certainly not least, I do not have time for things that I have no soul. My New Year's resolution is to collaborate with as many people as possible, bringing all their unique perspectives and creative talents to the table to make something beautiful with nuance, depth, complexity that only humans could. Something that has heart and soul. Listen, I think Blake Lively should hire this Reed Morano on her production team and create a Blake Lively production movie making team where she and Morano can be making movies and TV shows together. That's what I've concluded. Let me know what you guys think about everything so far. We are waiting Blake Lively's Many Complaint that will be posted early next week. So that's going to be fun. The deadline is, I believe, in the next few days. So you could see me at least one more time by the time it comes out, or twice by Monday. We'll see. Let me know what you guys think about everything so far. It's incredibly fascinating. Nothing surprising has come out though. Just confirming the same old, but everything is alleged, right? Everything is alleged, and we really don't know the actual truth. I do believe the only person who knows the truth is the people in Hollywood. And that's it. Let me know what you guys think. Stay safe, stay warm, stay healthy, and stay informed. That kind of rhymes. Bye. See you guys next video.